There was a lot of discussion generated by this episode. In this discussion, we will be discussing the marketplaces and we will also be looking at Bitcoin broadly. Grayscale is going to be the focus of our attention since they have just recently published a list of the top 20 alternative cryptocurrencies, or to be more precise, the top 20 cryptocurrencies that they believe will have the best performance. The coin that was left off the list is something that you can probably guess. The breakout of XRP is going to be the topic of discussion. XRP is only at 58 cents, whereas Bitcoin is currently trading at $65,900. Ethereum is at 264.5%, which is 65% higher than it was before, and both USDT and USDC are trading at 99 cents. During the past 24 hours, the total market capitalization of cryptocurrencies has decreased by only 1.08%. Moving forward, we spent a considerable amount of time vacillating between 2 and 2.2 trillion up to 2 trillion up to 2 trillion up to 2 trillion. In the event that we reach 2.3, which is the point at which we ought to be paying attention, the subsequent level will be approximately 2.7, however. As I have stated numerous times throughout this year, the real test will be 3 trillion. After we reach the threshold of $3 trillion, it will be crazy gold time, with $4.5 to $5 trillion by the end of the year, according to garlinghouse. Every single currency has broken out of the bullish trading ranges that were established on Thursday, which indicates that the previous consolidation has come to an end and that the recovery from lows has begun. At the end of the day, the price of Bitcoins was set at 70,000. Bitcoins are said to have won throughout the trading range in a move that is below 53,000, which is the low point for the month of August. One can infer that profits are higher when the level is high. At the beginning of this week, the cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex said that the high of August 6,200 is the mark that Bitcoin bulls need to reach in order to maintain their position. This comes ahead of the 6-month corrective trend that has been observed across all coins, which appears to have come to an end as well. What have we been able to touch recently? During the beginning of the comeback from the lows of 53,000, the chart shows that the cryptocurrency established a bullish outside day pattern right above it. This pattern implies that the previous consolidation below 655,000 has come to an end. It is possible to see the bullish breakout. The level of resistance is just below that $70,000 barrier, and that is the objective we are aiming for. Despite the fact that it is not yet alt season, alt will continue to rise. Remember that Bitcoin will be the first cryptocurrency to run and altcoins will follow after it. Get your calendars ready, gentlemen. This is the moment when Bitcoin will experience its major breakthrough, the massive breakout. Bitcoin is going to pull up all of the boats and assets that fall under this category, but cryptocurrency will make its run first. As of the end of the year, the objectives for Bitcoin have not changed for a moment. The amount of $100,000 is still being considered, and CoinDesk has also made this information available. The price of Bitcoin topped $65,000 for the first time since the beginning of August. Given the heightened interest shown by investors in spot exchange-traded funds ETFs, it appears that monetary stimulus in both the United States and China is serving as a trigger for the price of cryptocurrencies to climb. Take into consideration the fact that China, which has the second largest economy in the world, is beginning to develop a bullish attitude toward cryptocurrencies. They are in possession of a substantial amount of money and will begin to open the floodgates. Exactly, this is going to be the fuel that drives our supercycle. A trickle-down effect is initiated when dollars from the United States are deposited into our account, money from China is received, and cash from Japan is received. That is the amount of money that is flowing into and rotating out of traditional markets into the cryptocurrency markets in all of these countries. You want to see $10 trillion or more, or even $20 trillion for that matter. To be more specific, you need to pay attention to that. Fans of butts, there is no requirement for you to see the movement of money around the world in any way. As I have stated in the past, I am of the opinion that the drop in interest rates by the Federal Reserve of the United States will assist in the movement of money away from traditional markets and into cryptocurrency markets. In accordance with the encryption that has been made available to the public, this rotation originates from Grayscale. Despite the fact that the top 20 cryptocurrencies are anticipated to perform much better in the last quarter of 2024, Grayscale, a leading cryptocurrency asset manager, has updated its investment strategy and announced that these are not all of the coins that they predict will have the best run-ups. In this particular market, they believe that they are the ones that would perform the best. Over the course of October, November, and December, the list was expanded to include 6 more coins. This list of the top 20 includes a wide variety of assets originating from a variety of crypto industries, all of which have tremendous potential in the future. For the upcoming quarter, our plan takes into consideration a number of different elements, including the adoption of network expansion and the looming catalytic durability of the Foundation Valuation Token. As we scroll down, we encounter supply inflation as well as the possibility of tail risk. Indeed, we investigate it. It is shown here that the top 20 are. XRP's lack of H status is an intriguing point to consider. It is important to bear in mind that I am only attempting to achieve a very simple yet tough aim of 75 cents on XRP using Frank's inventory. As a result, I do not anticipate that it will perform well this year. It is my hope that it will be successful in the year 2025. The following cryptocurrencies are included on this list: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Toncoin Chainlink, all of which are favorites of ours in the vicinity of the Unis exchange. One of the creators of Helium that you might not be familiar of is Suze Bitsenser, which stacks and optimistically weaves our products. The night was spent at this location by the Leo Dawash Aerodrome Network, Celo and Yuma. There are a number of dangers that are linked with investing in the Bitcoin asset class. These risks include legislative uncertainties and space-specific weaknesses, such as imperfections in smart contracts. In light of the fact that we have regulatory certainty and that all 20 of the assets that make up our top 20 have high volatility and ought to be regarded as high-risk investments that are not sustainable, you anticipated that XRP would be included on this list. When you look at all of those investors there, you get gray. In your perspective, what do you think about the scale list? In all likelihood, no. You probably assume that a portion of your assets should be located here, but keep in mind that we are currently in the fourth quarter of this year. In only 2 days, we will get started. In order to give you a little bit of a wake-up call, the total market cap of all cryptocurrency assets is displayed below, with the top 10 assets being excluded. Additionally, the cryptocurrency flipping signal can be seen at the bottom of the page. This signal is represented by the small yellow circle that is located inside the black line. It is just starting to come to life. Right here, it is exactly what we are hoping to see, and this arbitrary user is what we end up with. Give me an explanation as to why Chris Larsen exists. Brad Garlinghouse was one of the participants in a session at the Philadelphia Federal Reserve that was titled Recent Innovations. I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that Brad and Chris are going to be attending the 9th Annual FinTech Conference, which they will be attending right after the swell. There are a number of connections to Sheila Warren, who is the Crypto Council for Engagement, and this is in addition to the presence of a moderator. Rippling impacts were induced by the numerous Fed groupings mentioned. During their speech at this Franklin Temple, representatives revealed that the second largest bank in Turkey is now working on tokenization on top of Stellar's blockchain. This is something that should be kept an eye out for. If you are in favor of XRP, you should talk about its growth and adoption. What do you think of the name that we ought to give to both of these? Folks, this is the process of growth and adoption. Following that, we come into possession of Keith's chart, which I presented to you before presenting it to you. In 2016, you will once again be able to view the go time box. You can see that we weren't simply climbing higher as we approached or entered this box when we were halfway through the bull run. This is something that you can recognize. Rather, it was not a move that was entirely upward. It's possible that there will be some chop, just like what we're seeing in the year 2020. As soon as we reach the time for departure, what took place? This is a straight-up moan shot that box is taking. We went inside the box twice, got the shot that was supposed to be the moan shot, and then we shot it back down again. During a brief moment, we veered off the path. At the same instant, there were a few green candles and a few red candles, each of which was followed by our sent back up. At the time where we were halfway through the boom of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, where were we? It is now possible to see the go time box. People, the breakout is rapidly approaching, despite the fact that it was just lately, a few days ago, entered it. A considerable shift is expected to occur on the upper side of the box, which is where we will conduct the testing. Alternatively, or perhaps more precisely, we will test because it has been quite some time since we last tested the 75-cent region, and I do not believe that we will be able to breach it when we reach 75 cents. While we are getting closer to the halfway point of the Bitcoin cycle, we will observe a period of initial volatility that is a little choppy before we retest it. In spite of this, the switch needs to take place, especially now that we are getting closer to the halfway point of the cycle, which is anticipated to take place at the beginning of January this year. 75 cents for XRP is the single target that we ought to be keeping an eye on. I have stated this in the past, and I will mention it once again. It is important to keep in mind that before the end of the year, you should always predict that XRP will be worth 75 cents. Because of this, we will be better prepared for that meteoric spike in 2025. I do not believe that a parabolic shift will occur. Does this suggest that we will be able to purchase XRP for approximately 60 cents up until the summer season when it is virtually over? At that point in time, 75 cents is a complete and utter no. To put it simply, if we want to see XRP at $610 by